Welcome to Sunday night and welcome to RaceSpotTV Primetime here on iRacingLive, as is the Formula Renault 2K World Cup about to kick into gear here at Circuit of the Americas. It's a 2-hour race here today, not the sound of the 45 minutes we're used to seeing, and that will mean things are going to be very, very different. Hold on to your seats then. 2 hours worth of racing here at COTA coming up after these messages. So hey, this is the new iRacing scanner, right?
Yep, this is our new scanner.
Wow, and this scans all your tracks and will scan everything else around it as well?
Yeah, you can even scan yourself with it.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, don't tell Tony that I asked, but how do you turn it on?
You just hit this button, scan right here.
Cool. And then that's just going to move around?
Yep, it'll just do a rotation, scan away.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool. That's real cool.
Hey Kevin, can you come to the office for a minute?
Yeah,
to show you something.
there.
Welcome to Circuit of the Americas, then welcome to 2 hours worth of racing here on RaceSpotTV and on iRacingLive for this, the Formula Renault 2.0 World Cup. Will Vincent here along with Jake Sperry. Qualifying is already underway. We're going to get then the information up here on your screen right about now, as these drivers will as ever have themselves 2 laps to go as fast as they possibly can. Some of your fastest drivers now just working themselves towards the start-finish line. Greg Zeitz, you can see him there on the exit of turn number 20, heading himself now towards the start-finish line. Was in P number 24, now up to P number 11. Waiting for a couple more drivers though, specifically looking for the likes of Felipe Burr, who's about to cross the start-finish line. Out he comes. Oh, turn 20. Nicholas Lando goes fastest for the time being. Felipe Burr crosses the start-finish line up into P number 11. Well, normally, Jake, at this time, we're talking about how important qualifying was, but here's 2 things. First of all, it wasn't important in terms of getting yourself into the top 10 from the race you saw earlier today. And also, this is a 2-hour motor race this evening.
Yes, it is. It's going to be a completely different strategy that many drivers are going to be trying to implement. There are quite a few people who are going to try and push themselves up to the very top. Big shout out to the 999 machine of Evan Imre, doing a fantastic job there in 7th at the moment, but there are a couple of drivers who are a little bit out of position, the likes of Justin Brunner, Hugo Preto of TNT Racing. You look at the likes of, say, Nick Thyssen, David Williams out of position, even Philippe Lebert as well, as we just saw come across the line. He's a little bit out of touch, out of sorts as well. I'm looking here at what is Maya Reddy now, heading himself now around this triple carousel here, Will, because he is in a position where he's second at the moment, but needs to find 3 more tenths on his final lap.
Yeah, the 500 car then working himself into 19. Close it down. Accelerates into 20 then. This is it. Final qualifying time for him. 2:02.027 to beat. 2:01.9 there for Maya Reddy. Top of the timing stands for the moment. What can Nicholas Landau do as he now heads himself from the exit of turn, well, number 14-15 there. So Nicholas Landau has now got work to do, as that was a fantastic lap by Maya Reddy. First driver into the 201 as Hugo Preto goes even faster.
Yes, this is absolutely fantastic. Everyone's really pushing to get themselves through. Just looking for a driver who could challenge Nicola Landau. He's still on his final lap and needs to find a couple of tenths. It's going to be possible. Let's see what he can do in the number 68. Drive to the line. Does he go quicker? 2:01.848. He certainly does. 5 thousandths. My man is better.
It's very close then. So your top 3 drivers have all done the qualifying times there. It's Maya Reddy down in P number 3. Let's have a look though at some of the other drivers. Here is Greg Zeet. He's working himself. But it's actually, he's done both his qualifying laps as well. So most drivers have done their qualifying laps here. Xavier Sanchez up into P number 10. Rico up into P number 12 right now. Most people have done the lap. David Soranzo past the start finish line up into P number 18. He will go for the time being in the endless sim racing car. But oh my word, what a qualifying we're seeing here today. 5 1,000ths of a second separating P number 1 and P number 2, Jake.
Yeah, it really is something at the moment. You have to say it has been a fantastic job, but there are a couple of guys still on laps. David Williams is the one who still has 1 more lap to go. He will cross the finish line to complete that second lap, but there are still a couple of names, and I think he's probably going to be the only name, Will, who can really challenge. Let's go on board with him then as he heads through the S's section.
On board then with Williams. Let's listen in. Not a bad sector 1 there, but all the time comes in sector 2, Jake, as he locks up into 11.
Yeah, that is going to affect his run just a little bit coming out onto the straight. This is where you really have to put the power down, going up 125 miles an hour, 130, just cranking it up through the gears, cranking up the power in the engine as you push yourself now into the difficult braking zone of 12. You've got to be careful here. Make sure you look out for your marker as he does so very well, and he takes a wider line there, misses the apex as well. That's going to affect his run just a little bit here as he heads himself now down into 13 here, missing the sausage curb on the right-hand side, and now this tight section of corners, the double apex left, which is so crucial and is one of the most unique corners in all of racing, does a fantastic job, gets that one slowed in nice and tight here, Will. His drive to the line will be so crucial, and his lap is looking very clean.
It is indeed there. This is number 80 car and the Sim Sports car there. Of course, they had themselves some issues yesterday in the Blancpain GT series, but well, that's the day they'd wish they could forget, but there's still plenty of racing, of course, for them to do this season, represented in the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. David Williams heading towards start-finish time. What will he do as he crosses the stripe? A 2:02.880, only good enough for P number 13. That now is pretty much all of our drivers past the stripe. That then gives us the opportunity to have a look at your starting grid for this event. Nicholas Landau then, pole position for him. Hugo Preto alongside him, just 5 1,000ths of a second back in terms of qualification. Maya Reddy is also within a 10th of your pole position driver, and then Rene Osterkamp in the Hydroforce Racing Machine will start in P number 4. Grade number 3 will be Rafael Draskaz and Oscar Mangan, Michael Mittner and Gregory Tanson there in row number 4. Circle that grid on back, and what you'll see, Jake, 31 drivers taking a 2-hour challenge here around the circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, René Osterkamp's data there a little bit different. He now drives for Evo MR, just as a quick update for that. But there are quite a few drivers out of position. Philippe Lebert, Mr. 2K Cup, down there in 20th position. That's going to be interesting. Technical difficulties as well for Justin Brunner. He's down all the way back in 29th and will look to push himself through the field. He was the fastest man in practice, so there is quite a lot of potential in this 2-hour event, Will.
Yeah, and there you can see the track then. There you can see what's ahead. 50 laps here at Austin. Track 765 as it was early on today. The winds have calmed down a little bit, 11 kilometers an hour right now. Humidity 31%, and there are some clouds in the air as we can see. So, it's now time to think about the race. The cars are gridding up on track, and it's now time to think about the race and only the race, because qualifying, well, that's in the book, but now we've got to think about what happens next. These guys got a couple of moments then before they will head themselves down in towards turn number 1 for the first time. We said it earlier, we're saying it again right now. You've got to be careful in the first sector of the first lap. Yes, this is a 2-hour event, but still, that first lap can always be crazy on the drivers. Look there above then at the And One Design aerial coverage here on RaceSpotTV and on iRacingLive. Glad to have you along for the ride once again. Here come then the cars on the starting grid, ready to go 50 laps here at Circuit of the Americas. Lights go on, lights go off. Let's get this show on the road. Green flag in the air, Jake.
Yeah, what a start this is, and we're going to see them come down to turn number 1. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. On the brakes, Landau gets it perfect. Prato takes the wide. Actually, Landau's going to spin around. Contact with Meyer already. It's all gone wrong early on, and secondary contact sends cars spinning around left, right, and centre. It's all gone wrong at turn number 1. Caution is out. The safety car will take effect.
For the second race in the row, the caution will come out, and that one all started with Meyer ready in that 500 machine. Oh my word, what a crazy start we've had to this motor race, Jake. What happened? What a start to this event.
Well, it just seemed to me it was all about Nicola Landau, who was there on pole position, gets a little bit too eager into turn number 1, spins the car around. May already's got nowhere to go in just the trajectory of the spin that Landau had. That just bottlenecks things up. Then the cars behind start to concertina up. You look behind Meyer already, Oscar Mangan gets involved, Draskaz there as well, and then you just see it all goes horribly wrong as cars try to avoid each other. It all ends up in tears, and well, it's going to be very good for those cars on the back, the likes of your Leberts and Brunners, who are looking to push themselves through the field.
Yeah, there's a look then from up above, your pole position driver. You know what, that's the second time in 2 days, third time in 2 days you've seen your race leader having themselves an issue in this event from the front of the field. We want to get ourselves a look, really, if we can, from the driver of Nicolas Landau. We're running ourselves on board of him into one, just locks the back end up, and from there, pandemonium.
Yeah, it really is a shame, Will, to see here just how he was doing well. He was there up in, what, 4th place it was at one stage in the race earlier on, and then he gets pole position, he gets a massive adrenaline high, but he has to take this as a learning curve now. He knows that he managed to get a pole position, but now he's got to learn how to make sure that he doesn't buckle under the pressure next time he gets there. Nothing else he can do now except try to recover.
Well, as we are under caution, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to step aside for just one moment. We'll be back with more after this. We'll take you side by side.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun, but there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race. so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
He's typing! He's typing! He's got it! He's got it! It's a new line of code! I'll get my code. Sorry. So hey, this is the new iRacing scanner, right?
Yep, this is our new scanner.
Wow. And this scans all your tracks and will scan everything else around it as well?
Yeah, you can even scan yourself with it.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, don't tell Tony that I asked, but how do you turn it on?
You just hit this button, scan right here.
Cool. And then that's just going to move around?
Yep, it'll just do a rotation, scan away.
Oh, wow, that's cool. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
real cool.
Hey, Kevin, can you come to the office for a minute?
Yeah,
I need to show you
right
something.
there.
Under caution here, ladies and gentlemen. Second time in 2 races that the Formula Renault 2.0 World Cup is under caution. And well, I know last time out, there were some people saying that because the incident happened at turn 2 at Mosport and they're off the racing line, you didn't necessarily need a caution. I think this time you really did need to have a caution, Jake.
Yeah, it was all on the racing line. You could see cars were getting backed up into each other. We've had a couple of people come down onto pit road as well. You look at the likes of May already, Michael Mittner there, part of the Vector Simsport groups coming down onto pit road. Other guys there also. But what is really interesting right now is you look at the leader here, was you look at Hugo Prater and he's getting very, very impatient behind this safety car. You can see he's pulling up alongside it, which is a very dangerous thing to do because the moment he goes past, black flag, you're out of the race.
Yeah, you got to be very careful with that one. A black flag, he's pretty much will be done for the day. There you can see a few of them cycling himself through the S. And we did talk about this, both in this broadcast and the last one, just how difficult starts are at Circuit of the Americas because it's an uphill, very tight radii, turn number 1. It's always expecting some drama. We didn't have it in the race earlier on today. We got it here. And I'll tell you one thing, if they allowed that one to carry on race control, we'd have seen carnage down the chicane.
Oh yeah, I have to agree with you. There would have been a lot of dramas going on. And well, actually, I've just seen Hugo Prater overtake the safety car. So you have to get... Yeah, indeed. He might have to try and get behind as quickly as he can because that one has not worked out for him. He's getting too impatient in that car. He just needs to stay calm, just stay conserved. He has to wait and back the field up. That's the only thing he has to do.
And he has to be careful as well not to pass the safety car before it is safely onto pit road. Actually, one thing Hugo Prater should do is drop back about 7-8 car lengths because, of course, if you go too far back, then you end up in a situation when you'll get done from race control for being too far back. But what you need to do is realistically about 7-8 car lengths back and do hammer time.
Yeah, he really does just have to close that field up, make sure everyone's together because, you know, you want to get the element of surprise on your back and you want to do it as quickly and as effectively as you can. So, in my view, I think he has to just, you know, stay calm, get himself into that position where he can wait just once again and just back that field up and then get the elements of surprise going, jump everyone in the field and be unchallenged into turn number 1.
There's your field as they stand them so far here in this event. Cycle it through, 31 drivers. Getting ourselves ready for the restart. The restart will happen this time by the 2 laps under caution. That will really help fuel economy a little bit here for some of these drivers.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because you're not going at full throttle, you're not using the engine's full capacity, which means you're using less fuel. That means that some stints can go a little bit longer and potentially we could see some alternate strategies play out just because of this one caution.
Yep. Here we are then, working themselves through 17 and 18. Hugo Prater at the front of the field, and now he's dropped back from that iRacing first safety car, sponsoring the American Childhood Cancer Foundation. Fantastic cause there. The iRacing community are supporting. Into 19. Pace car's going to head itself on towards pit road in just 1 moment's time. That means the field is back behind Hugo Prater. Green flag is going to be in the air. I'm not quite sure if he's going to pass the safety car there. This could be interesting, Jake. Green flag back in the air.
Yes, it is. It's a slow start for Rene Osterkamp. He doesn't pass the safety car, but here comes Oscar Mangan in the 90 then, looking for an opportunity. No, has to back it back in under the slipstream. Caught napping a little bit was Osterkamp. He was still warming his tyres up on the brakes, and turn number 1 goes incredibly wide, and they're going to be side by side for 2 and 3. Very, very interesting. Behind, we got a few battles going on. I believe that's Evan Imre going side by side with what I think is Kurt Crum. Not quite too sure it was, with Lucas Jed sat there waiting side by side. Very interesting. Osterkamp holds on.
Most importantly, they all made it through turn number 1 that time by as a big wiggle from Kurt Crum. That will cost him about half of a second in that battle. But we are underway, we are racing, and Hugo Prater has checked out from your field.
Yes, he has, and well, Hugo Prater for the TNT team, of course, he will be very, very pleased with that one here, but you've got to look at the battle for second here, Will, because down the inside goes Oscar Mangan, room being given by Rene Osterkamp, and now it's just going to be all about that drag race down to turn number 12. They're side by side, and what is going to happen is that Rene Osterkamp gets the better exit out of the corner, but he's on the outside, which means that he doesn't have the benefit of getting to choose his line. He doesn't have that car length to say, you know what, I can come across and defend. He can't. He's going to stay hard on that right hand side. Last of the late breakers, Mangan gets himself in, and well, he's proving his class right now as a black stripe because he's through into second place.
For the time being, we'll cycle that car back around, and yeah, he should be good now. But the difficult situation is now 1.6 seconds behind your race leader as it stands behind. There's a nice gaggle of cars all the way through your field right now. In fact, let's have a listen to them as they all head themselves through turn 17 and turn 18. And Jake, this is one of those corners, you talk about Turkey turn 8, just like that really.
Yeah, it is. It's a triple apex right-hander compared to Turkey, which is a triple apex left. And it's so difficult. It wears a lot on the outside tyres. You've got to really be brave and gutsy when you get in. Car spun around, though, just ahead of David Williams. That's Julian Grunestel, who's turned his car around, and it's all ended wrong. And he's looking for a way to turn it around safely. Finally does, and drops himself behind Joel Guez, who had the most awful of starts as well when the safety car came along. So in the end, it just seems that cars are still going to struggle here on cold tyres.
Yeah, and Grunestel had a miserable turn 19 as well. Then tried to push too hard into 20, and of course he's taking it at a slightly lower speed, and he's going backward, trying to spin that around. Got to be careful there. Takes the inside line, he's okay, but he's lucky that turn 20 onto the long back straightaway. Front straightaway is so long. So, as it stands, we're riding aboard right now on Nick Thiessen in that DOT machine, running himself in P number 5, and the battle realistically, like it was earlier, P2, P3, P4, P5, early on this motor race. 5 of 50 scored complete, 10% race distance at the line. Of course, some of these guys want to get moving very quickly.
Yeah, they do. They really need to start getting through the field. You look at Philippe Lebert, who is already up 9 positions, and you look at also Justin Brunner. He's there up 13 as well, so they're making great progress through the field. Gonna stay things with Nick Thiessen right now, Will, because you can see the slipstream train starting to form here behind Rene Osterkamp and also Oscar Mangan. Mangan slightly out of the way in terms of just getting away, but you got to look at Rene Osterkamp here because he's going to have to try and stop some very quick guys behind him, and I think knowing his talent, he'll probably give them a very hard time.
Yeah, and Osterkamp is a very good defensive driver, but the issue I always say in these longer races, especially in this series, do you want to be holding people up, or do you want track position? Because if you just take track position, it can hurt you longer on into the motor race. So there's a big question that we have to be asked of Rene Osterkamp, but he is still behind Oscar Mangan. Just 5 tenths of a second. Into 19 they come to complete lap number 5. Turn 20 onto the front straightaway.
Yeah, and you can see here, just how close Gregory Tansen gets, and that just bottles up the field. Nick Thiessen having to get out of the brakes, and that's going to allow Xavier Sanchez and David Williams back into the play. How often is it that we say Xavier Sanchez up in 6th? He's doing a fantastic job, but here comes David Williams in the number 80 VRS Coanda SimSport car, down on the brakes into turn number 1, and can he get the move sorted? Answer is going to be for the moment, yes, but he can't get the car length, and here comes back Xavier Sanchez, Will.
Yeah, and as close as David Williams there versus Sanchez as they work themselves through the S's. Fantastic! Oh no, it's not fantastic racing! Both the cars spun around, and well, they will keep off the racing line. We're not going to have to go into caution once again, we don't think. No, they won't. But that could have been horrific there between those two drivers. David Williams there and Xavier Sanchez spinning on one of the most difficult portions of this racetrack. Replay is up for you right now.
Oh my word, 2 into 1 never goes, and that is just what Xavier Sanchez didn't want. If you wanted a curse of the commentator, hello, we're here, RaceSpotTV, we do this all the time. Well, it just ended in tears, and David Williams will feel very hard done by after doing almost all the work and getting no credit, and possibly a bit of damage as well.
Yeah, there we are, one more look then at this battle. David Williams looking around the outside under the Tequila Patron Bridge, and well, those two came together. That could have been so much worse, and actually Williams went over one of those sleeping policeman curbs as well. Lucky that car didn't spear back across the racing line. Otherwise, we'd have been looking after caution number 2 right now on this racetrack. As well, it seems to be now, Williams has got the trolley train right behind him because Kurt Crum is right behind, and there's a lot of people realising that Williams could be a little bit damaged.
Yeah, David Williams has got to worry. If you look at how many people are in this field, you got Kurt Crum, Evan Imre, Philippe Lebert, Mr. 2K Cups there, Marichal Meyer ready on the recovery, Lockwood now having a look on him, here into the triple right, and well, you got Soranzo, and also at the back of that train, I touted him at the beginning of having a poor qualifying, it's Justin Brunner in that NX Racing Machine 102, looking for an opportunity. David Williams running outside goes Kurt Crum, and Kurt Crum gets the move sorted. Williams heading to pit lane.
Yeah, and that is well advised by him because it does seem to be
Badgie's just missed it, Will, and come straight across track. Oh my word.
Jinx. As you can see there, let's have a look at David Williams as he heads himself now down towards the final corner as he enters pit road. And then, oh my word, what did he do there, Jake Sperry?
It is very difficult because it's off camber actually heading into pit lane, which makes that corner so difficult to get in. I've had many a trouble myself trying to get down onto pit lane, and it just seemed that he underestimated it, and now you can see into this SS section, he has no grip here, well, mechanically or aerodynamically, and that is really affecting Lockwood, Imre, Brunner, Soranzo, Gruner still there waiting on the back, same for Jogwez, and now Xavier Sanchez back on the pack as well. So really this hasn't really worked out in favour of David Williams. Another lap out there means another chunk of time he's going to lose, and that might just affect his entire race.
Yeah, there you can see though, towards the front of your field as it stands, it's Hugo Preto with 1.9 second advantage over Oscar Mangan. Oscar Mangan in turn now 2.2 second advantage over Gregory Tanton. That is what your battle is going to be. 0.8 of a second. So your top 5 have really spread out for the time being, with the exception of this Rene Osterkamp versus Nick Thiessen battle. And it does seem to be that pure pace all of a sudden is starting to come into play here, Jay.
Yeah, it is. Rene Osterkamp did a 2:03.5 last time by, slowest of all the guys around him. Tanson 2:03.4, Thiessen 2:03.2. Tanson is through this lap, and now Nick Thiessen wants a piece of the action. What does have to be a benefit here for Rene Osterkamp. This is the highest he's ever ran, if my memory does serve me correctly, and he will be looking for a great opportunity. He does have 6 seconds back though to Lucas Jessat, who does have a slower lap time. He does a 2:05.5 but was dealing with traffic, so it is going to be interesting to see what happens. Osterkamp's got to defend ferociously if Nick Thiessen is going to be charging hard, and he's got a great opportunity into turn number 1.
Xavier Sanchez also is a driver looking to recover in this motor race. Down 7 places so far in this event, but he looks himself down to the inside of Justin Grunstall, and he'll get that pass done easily. Up now into P number 18. Sorry, P number 16, I take that one back. So now down 6 places overall in that Chronos Sim Racers car, in towards turn 1 again. Ahead, Williams versus Brunner. Brunner on the inside line, Williams on the outside line. Nothing Williams can do there, as behind we've got Grunstall there versus Imre as they come down in towards turn 3.
Well, it's nice to see the Team Tortoise in action, and well, Team Tortoise might be a slow car name, but it's certainly not slow car by nature at the moment. He might just be down 5, but he is trying to recover everything. Here is Evan Imre, the Scotsman here. Got Grunestell behind, and actually, he is starting to make a little bit of a break, and now David Williams now going to have to be in trouble because he did a 2:07.3 last time by, really struggling with the damage here.
Yep. Here we are then, lap number 8 of 50. As it stands, the biggest battle going on in your top 10 is still Thiessen versus Osterkamp, but there's a fantastic battle going on down in your mid-pack. Let's try a couple of corners on board with Mayo ready, and Jay, talk us through Sector 2 here.
Well, Sector 2 is really difficult because you do have this flat-out section which then turns into a stadium turn 3. There you can see on the brakes just ahead, that is Philippe Lebert being taken by Jason Marichal, who started 22nd here on the brakes down to the left-hander. It tightens up on you. It looks like there's a lot more, but a little bit less. You can see Marichal just ahead gets a little bit of a wiggle. It's okay. Lebert's going to stay behind into this difficult right-hander, and now you get into the stadium section. So difficult here because it's all about going from quick to slow, and these difficult long corners are certainly ones that are going to take all the life out of the tyres.
Yep, as these two continue to battle there, Philippe Lebert still right behind the driver of Jason Marcel as they battle it out for P number, and they stay side by side. Actually, no, Philippe Lebert now going a little bit wide cost him not 1 position but 2 positions, Jake.
Yes, it did. It just ran wide in that triple apex right, and we said if you get offline there, it's going to be so difficult. And well, Philippe Lebert missed a 2K cut, making an error that we don't normally see of him. Maioretti will jump up then into 9th position. Lebert now down in the top 10, but you do have to be careful in this straight because there are drivers who can all cause themselves a few issues here and a few issues there. You look at the likes of Justin Brunner there, but I'm looking back here at a battle further down the field. This is Rico Zemic with the other Team Tortoise car here, Will. That's Frederick Johansson down to turn number 1. There's contact between the two, but they keep it together.
Yeah, and Nicholas Landau right behind. This field is stacking out all around your field once again. Some of the slower drivers now are catching faster drivers, being caught by faster drivers. Nicholas Landau in the number 68 machine with Lenny Alberto as it stands right now. Of course, Nicholas Landau, well, they say he's down 19 positions. He's actually down 17 positions because he moved himself up through the field a little bit. But Landau, what a hurry that he's ever had since that turn number 1 moment.
Yeah, he really is looking to try and get himself back through the field, as I've just seen Justin Brunner there go round the outside of 2K Cup. That one's pretty special, you have to say. And also the battle going on here just ahead. Jason Marichal going to the AstroTurf to try and get himself a way around here on the car of Maya. Already gets the move sorted, but Landau has had a horrible race. He is trying to recover it, but if anything is to go by, he's only 10 seconds behind Brunner, and 10 seconds can evaporate so quickly around here, Will.
Yep, as May already down to the inside, he should get that pass done complete in towards turn number 12, but Marichal is looking to try and find a way back. Pass on board of them. This is the corner you say that you have to give up one apex to get the other, but Marichal not quite close enough.
No, not quite close enough, but he has to be very careful on the brakes there. Massive twitch going in, and now that's going to allow Brunner all over the back in that Inex racing machine. Oh, it's going to be fantastic to see whether he can get himself around. He is all over the gearbox, looking for an opportunity. It's very difficult into this one. It's one-line suits all, but he is going to have a little bit of a look down the inside. Tries to force the matter, won't happen. Final corner will be a great opportunity, Will. To think this is 2 hours endurance, I have to get the voice up because they're going so close and they're fighting as if it's a 30-minute sprint.
I know. They're only 1/5 race distance so far. They've been running already, of course, for 36 minutes because we had ourselves a caution at the early stage of this event. There's Marichal, not close enough in towards turn number 1. Next distance, though, is close to the rear of Rennie Osterkamp. Continued battle for P number 4, P number 5, through 6, into 7, 8. And Thyssen, well, he's looking strong right now. And, of course, endurance racing is kind of his thing here, of course, Jake.
Yeah, of course, this series does have itself sprint races and feature races. Sometimes it has these long 2-hour endurance races, which really means that you're testing all the mettle of every driver. And where you talk at the likes of, say, Rob Reed is fantastic around the circuit of the Nordschleife. He always performs around there. You look at Nick Thyssen, he really performs in this endurance format here around this circuit of COTA. He was looking strong there through those SS sections, but of course it's one-line suits all, and that's where the dirty air affects the most, because you can drop so much time in those fast, high-flowing corners which suit, say, a Red Bull.
Yep, indeed. As we can see there, we're back on board with Nick Thyssen. Moves and shakers in this race so far. Well, there you see Brunner up 19 places in this event. By far, your biggest mover. And, well, what a day it's been for Justin Brunner in that Inex Racing 102 machine. Past Jason Martial for the moment. And, well, Justin Brunner's now looking to try and close down Mayo Reddy in P number 8. This is just like what we saw earlier. In the first race today, one driver getting huge positions early on.
Yeah, very similar to Phil Reed, of course. Both of them go very far back, Brunner and Reed, but Justin Brunner really looking here to try and close those gaps down. He isn't too far back in terms of the race lead either. He's only 20 seconds off the pace, and 20 seconds can be eaten up very quickly. Of course, we talk about Brunner being the fastest man in practice here, and he certainly has the potential to go...
Oscar Mangan's off! Oscar Mangan's off there, down in turn number 1. There you can see Oscar Mangan, he's off. He spun it around down at turn number 1. Replay up on your screen. That's just like turn 1, lap number 1 almost there, Jake.
Yeah, he just seemed to carry too much pace into turn number 1 without slowing the car down to turn it, and that just meant that there was just no grip. Car oversteers, round you go, and he does very well to turn it around as quickly as he does. Kept the engine revving, and that means Oscar Mangan now is only at the back of the train and not having to deal with the likes of Lucas Jessat on his own in P number 6.
Yeah, there you can see Oscar Mangan. We'll just see it in the super slow-mo replay. You'll see he's already lost the back end before he even comes into the corner. That back end of that car, you can see the wheels are counter-steering as they are. We'll speed it back up, but there we are. That's what happens when all things go wrong. He's not doing a donut. This is only lap number 11 of 50 here at Circuit of the Americas. Nick Thyssen running himself in 4th place now. Rennie Osterkamp in 3rd. Gregory Tansen in 2nd place. And while Tansen doing a sterling job and holding onto that position, up 5 places from where he started here.
Yeah, Gregory Tansen's really doing a great job. We haven't seen too much of him. He's always normally a character who just hides away in the midfield, but now he's starting to shine. He's starting to get his moment here around the Circuit of the Americas because he is really showing what he can do and what points that he can get here. But the only problem he has here is trying to catch Hugo Preto because he is 0.7 of a second a lap slower than the TNT Racing driver from Portugal, who is absolutely flying at the moment here. And, well, Tansen's running his own race, and I don't think he's too bothered about the race win.
Yeah, the MSP driver's home car running themselves in P2 as they work themselves down towards turn number 1 once again. This time by Rennie Osterkamp within 2 tenths of a second as they come down into that first corner. He's still going to be Tansen. Osterkamp, it seems to be, he's running a bit more wing in this event.
Yeah, Rene Osterkamp, oh, he gets a massive twitch as well through turn number 1, keeps the car going but loses all momentum. But you have to say, Rene Osterkamp, yeah, he is running a little bit of a higher wing, I have to say. He is trying to make sure that he maximizes his speed in through this left-right section, this first sector, and also the third sector, because that second sector is so crucial for top speed. Sometimes you have to compensate. It's the same with Spa-Francorchamps. You get Les Combes sorted out nice, you get that Kemmel straight, you get people at Blanchimont going quick, but sometimes sacrifice the middle sector, and this is a prime example, Will.
It is indeed. There's, we can see the top 8 coming along the bottom of your screen right about now, as it is Hugo Prater leading by 5 seconds now. Hugo Prater, not really talked about him, but he is now driving away at this event. Last time by, he was slower, but overall, Hugo Prater has eked his legs out, got himself moving into command of this field.
Yes, he has, and well, you've got to look at the battle for third as well, because Nick Thyssen got himself through, but now Osterkamp will look to try and get himself back, gets the inside line, heading him down into turn number 12, last of the late breakers. Thyssen tries it, but they're going to remain side by side here. We'll have to take a little bit to the AstroTurf on the outside here, and they could go 3 wide, they don't. Down on the brakes into the right-hander of 13, and Thyssen holds on.
Yep, so Thyssen will hold on for the time being. Behind Osterkamp is Oscar Mangan. Of course, Mangan having that spin about 3 laps to go. That has changed the complexion of this event, and Mangan looking very feisty right now. Trying to go around the outside into 17-18. No way he can do that, but really trying to set himself up for a pass on the exit of maybe 19 or 20.
Yeah, you can see he's really desperate to try and get away through. He's trying to widen those corners just to try and get himself a great opportunity. Has a look down on the brakes into the final corner, and that's what you should do on the final lap, and he makes the move look very comfortable, but here comes the switch back from Rene Osterkamp. Very wise racing from the German versus the Brit, and well, you can make as many World War II jokes as you like about it, but this is fantastic racing here, heading themselves up towards turn number 1. Up the hill they go along, and Osterkamp with the inside, Mangan with the outside. I don't think this one's over quite yet, Will.
No, it's not, because Mangan gets a better run on the outside line in towards turn number 1, and he will keep 4th place for the time being. Fantastic running there for Oscar Mangan in that now 4th place in this motor race, behind Justin Brunner versus Mayo Reddy. That is one of your closest battles we've got going on. We've also got then a battle going on between Rico Chismish there in the Pure Racing Team 811, David Soranzo, and the Nicholas Landau, David Williams. We'll start off with the driver of Rico Chismish there, as he's down 2 places from where he started.
Yeah, he is, and it's not been a case of him having really a bad run as such. He's just been a little bit unlucky. He's seen the guys who have been there towards the back, Lockwood, Marichal, Leibert, Brunner. They've all pushed themselves up through the field, so has Jess and Crum. And, well, it's been a case of many people have capitalised, and he's not been the driver who has done as much as others.
Behind, here's Fredrik Johansson running himself in P number 18 on track then. 13 of 50, going to score complete at the line. Of course, David Williams is one of those drivers who has suffered early on in this motor race, and well, it seems to be, Brunner, Mangan's both had issues there. Brunner and Mangan, both technical issues at the same time. We'll give you an update, if we can, on that one. Let's ride on board with Dave Soranzo for the rest of this lap, ladies and gentlemen. Well, 14 of 50 laps all complete. Oscar Mangan something with some technical difficulties. That means they are both out of the event at the same time. Here we've got one driver on pit road. Oh no, that's not on pit road. Let's see the Marshall there, losing it down. Guess where, Jake?
Oh, I have no idea. Let me guess. Is it turn number 1 again, Will?
Turn number 1.
Oh, what a shame for him, and he'll be really looking to try and get himself back through the field. Marichal now drops himself behind Nicola Landau now, so you can see the recovery factors that are both going to be coming in. It's going to be very interesting to see how they all get themselves back through, but you can see right now, let's focus on Evan Imre and that Team Tortoise 999, because he's got Rico Zemic there right behind Soranzo and Landau as well, Marichal, and well, you have to say, there is an unstoppable tide coming here from Evan Imre, and Zemic is really looking for an opportunity to get himself through.
Yeah, so here we are, lap number 14 of 50, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to step aside for just one moment. Back with more after this. Imre et al. Very, very close right now. You're going to see just how close they are, Jake.
Yeah, we can. Just seen David Soranzo try and run it down into turn number 1, and they all break late. And in the end, Soranzo loses out. That means Nicola Landau gets himself through. So Imre has 3 very esteemed, very quick drivers there that he's holding behind. And well, Evan Imre is certainly a fighter and will be looking to try and hold on to every position he possibly can. He's already let Rico Zemic go flying through and is already there off into the sunset. So you can really see just how resilient and determined Evan Imre is.
Yeah, and David Soranzo right now running himself in P number 13 in this motor race, Jake. What? Up 7 places, right up the road Nicola Landau that last time by, but it all comes down to turn 12.
Yeah, it really does, and you can see here, it's all about that run coming out of it, and there's only so much you can do when the guy ahead of you is closing in to the next driver, the same as the next one. You have to say Marichal just gets a little bit of worse for wear run, but now you can see this slipstream toe going to come in. There's one, there's the move from Nicola Landau, and you can see instantly Soranzo tries to follow it because he needs to get closer and closer, but the straight's running out. It's a very long one, but it's going to be not enough. Down on the brakes, down into what is, oh, very close there, down to turn number 12. Soranzo had to turn that one on point because Evan Imre was there waiting, and it's only 1 position instead of 2.
And Marichal there in the number 76 machine, the end of the sim racing car. He thought about having a cheeky look, but David Soranzo wasn't able to do anything, and he messes up turn 15 big time.
Yes, he does, but you got to remember there, David Soranzo has just had a massive issue himself. Now it's all be about just trying to stay calm and getting back onto the back of Evan Imre. It's all going to be about just staying calm, staying composed. Of course, you've got to stay careful with your 30 instant limits. You've got to stay close to everyone else when you're trying to push, you're trying to fight, you're trying to make sure that everything works out in your favor. But Marichal's just got to stay calm. So, actually, Zemic has just spun himself around, Will.
He has. We saw that there down at turn number 20. We've seen about, what, 4 drivers see that already here today?
Yeah, I think so. We saw David Williams have his own issue there. I think we saw Zemic do it once already today. I think that's going to be very, very interesting there. Just turns himself around. He's very lucky to keep it out of the barriers, trying to reverse it back in, make sure he doesn't get any damage to that, but he's back out and going again, and that is certainly very interesting.
And turn 20 is a lot harder than people think about, Jake, mainly because of the fact that it's slightly off camber when you get through the apex of the corner. I always think about it like the final corner at the Bathurst racetrack, as Nick Thiessen now right behind Gregory Sanson, battle for P number 2. Nick Thiessen to the outside.
Yes, he is, and here we go, down on the brakes then, down into the chicane. Well, not the chicane, but they will be coming into some very slow corners in just a moment's time. Tansen holding on for the moment here as they head down into turn 13, and then 14 comes along here very, very quickly. And then 15 and 16 then starts to come and take themselves to the rise. And where you have to say, Thiessen trying to do everything he can, but Tansen's being resolute. Tansen being an iron wall in defence.
Yep, just like it was between East and West at one point. You've got yourself Gregory Tanson really putting up the defense right now in that battle for P number 2. And well, that wasn't a good corner because Tanson's actually coming on towards pit road. So Tanson is on towards pit road. 16 of 50 laps scored complete in this motor race. Who's stopping here, Jake?
Yeah, I think so. I think 2 stops going to be a very interesting way to go. You might be able just to stretch a 1 stop here after what was the safety car on the opening lap. Spent 2 laps behind the safety car, but I think Tanson being the first guy to come in, I think he's going to fill up really nicely. I think you need to go to about lap 30-35 if you're Gregory Tanson right now and really push that final stint to get to the end.
Yeah, we've already had Mayer ready on pit road as Nicholas Landau. So most of these drivers are looking to do a 2-stopper. To save with 1 caution is going to be very hard. Out and away, 5.4 seconds there. It's not really the pit stop time that's important though, Jake. It's the amount of time you spend on pit road because it's such a long run straightaway here. That makes all of the difference.
Yeah, it really does. You can see there, he didn't take tyres, so they think that the tyres are going to last all 50 laps, all 2 hours.
Sorry, Lando spun around. Lando spun around.
Oh dear, well that is a shame for Nicola Landau here. Let's see if we can catch a replay of that one. That's at turn number 1 as well. And you can see leading the train into turn number 1. Second time he's done it. Carrying too much speed again, but he's resolute. He's learned from his lesson last time. Gets off of the racing line as quickly as he can, using the momentum that is there by going downhill off the exit. So he does a very good job of avoiding things. No caution needed.
Well, we talked about already turn number 1 being an issue, Jake. Why is also turn number 20 being an issue? Why is turn number 1 such a difficult thing as well?
Because it's a very unique corner. You don't see any other corners like it. You get yourself up the hill onto braking, and when you get midway through the corner, the whole dimension of the corner changes as it goes flat, and then you go straight back downhill for what is the run to turn number 2. I think that's what's difficult because the car's changing. It's being challenged in a way it really hasn't been anywhere else in the world. So it's a learning curve here at COTA. It's the one corner where everyone needs to learn how to do it correctly, and in the end, Landau's struggling a little bit. But you have to see here how everything is going on right now. You can see all these battles going on here just for the moment. Let's focus then ourselves just a little bit because, you know, we have these gaps started to form up. Hugo Prato out and away at the moment. 7.6 seconds now, the gap to Nick Dixon. So it has started to creep up just a little bit. Gap's 2:02.2 compared to a 2:02.5. So 0.3 of a second, says Nick Dixon is there at the moment. There you can see René Osterkamp in 3rd at the moment, but not retrospective because we have had a guy go on to pit road. That is Gregory Tanson even, who has looked to try and make the 2-stop work. You can see cars trying to get a little bit further on in terms of racing right now. Evan Imre here with Jason Marichal. I don't know whether cameras are picking this up or not, so this might be a radio broadcast for a little bit. Hello, well, nice to meet you, but you can see Imre at the moment really starting to push himself here with Jason Marichal. Marichal looking here just to play the defensive game. He's already got through on Evan Imre. Imre now looking at Landau and Zemic as well, who have both had their incidents so far this race, but you can see they are 40 seconds off of the pace here of the leaders, so it hasn't really worked out in those respects, but you can see gap starting to open up. Maya already at the moment in 4th position right now. That is really, really interesting, which makes me think that we have had a couple of drivers drop themselves down on towards pit lane at the moment here. Talking about the driver of Lucas Jedzats there in the 193 machine. Don't know whether he's had any issues trying to find that one for you. I doubt he has. I believe he has just come out of pit lane just trying to find that one for you. And the answer is no. So he has had an incident, Lucas Jedzats, because he was running himself on his own. He was behind René Osterkamp. So that's a really weird one here. He's dropped himself about 15-20 seconds. I think he might have pitted. Not quite too. He has pitted, so that is what has happened there, Will. Nice to see you back with us once again. Well, it's certainly interesting as the gaps open up as pit stop window is open.
They have indeed. 6.6 seconds there was the pit stop, the first pit stop of the day for the driver of Lucas. But our big battle we've got going on. Oh, Tug turned around. And that's Imre. We've been talking about him so much the last 10 minutes of this motor race. And well, he loses it down at turn number 12. And well, part of this shape comes down to a brake bias issue, really, for some of these drivers. They try to run it to the extreme, and well, when you put it all together, it becomes, well, Imre really just losing it down before he even turns the corner in towards turn number 12 in that 909 Team Tortoise machine.
Yeah, he does. He gets a little bit of a helping hand from Nicola Landau as well down there, so that's not going to be very useful for the incident points. But what does actually help here for Evan Imre is he is going to be joined out and along with what is his teammate, Frederick Johansson. He actually comes down onto pit road right now here, Will. So pit stop's going to come in. Maybe there's a little bit of damage after that spin, after that little bit of contact there on the rear left tyre. But that's going to be interesting to see how he does midway through the race. It's certainly going to be very, very interesting to see.
Out front though, Hugo Prieto now with an 8.7 second advantage over Nick Thiessen. Thiessen, of course, has been able to work himself past René Osterkamp in the battle for P2 in this event. But Hugo Prieto has led so far 18 of the 18 laps really at the line that's taken place here today, because, well, that TNT racing car has been fantastic on pace, but let's not forget, he started in P2. He didn't start from pole position.
Well, no, he didn't, and he was very lucky, actually, for the safety car in turn number 1. Not for the fact that he got himself in a position where he was having to hold up the field for 2 laps, just for the fact that he managed to get himself through on Nicola Landau, who span at the opening corner, and now he's out, and now he's away. He's got 8.4 seconds to work with over Nick Thiessen, which is probably a little bit more having to deal with Xavier Sanchez's traffic. So that's really going to be interesting. It's really going to play the games here as they head themselves off. Hugo Prieto is actually going to dive onto pit lane here, Will.
Yep, so here comes Hugo Prieto on towards the lane then for his first pit stop of the day. Lap number 19 of 50 scored complete. Well, pit stops are so fast here for these guys that we expect them to be out within, what, 6-7 seconds? Fuel limited, of course, in this series. But here we are then, Hugo Prieto on towards his pits box as he will come in. Wait for it. Now. And he overshoots!
Oh, not only did he overshoot, but he also almost overshot entry onto pit lane as well. So Hugo Prieto really struggling here today down on pit lane. You don't practice it as often as they should. We harp on about it so much, Will. Drivers don't practice their pit lane entries, their pit stops. But now you can see Prieto out and away, and that lead has to be slashed.
Yeah, as Nick Thiessen there can smile a little bit of blood. More drivers on pit road right now. You got yourself Philippe Leber. He's coming out of the lane. Pit stop time for him then is 6.1 seconds. For Brian Lockwood is 6.1 seconds. Kurt Crum, it's 7 seconds as they come back out onto track. Kurt Crum at the leader of this gaggle of cars for the time being. So, 20 of 50 is going to be scored complete this time by. Question's going to be, when will Nick Thiessen coming towards pit road? It's interesting. Let's not forget that Hugo Prieto is so energetic behind that safety car. He wasn't really saving fuel there, Jack.
No, he wasn't. He was really trying to push himself forward. He was trying to say, come on, get a hurry up. I want to get this race over and done with. I'm looking at this 2 hour and 10 minute time limit if 50 laps isn't scored complete. So it really is a problem here for Hugo Prieto. He is thinking about other things, but you know, he's got to just stay calm. He's just got to stay composed, live wire or not. He knows that he's beaten Gregory Tanson in the pit stops. Tanson there behind there in the number 52. You can see halfway down the straight when Hugo Prieto is already around the corner. So that's one problem out the way. He's got to negotiate Nick Thiessen, and Thiessen will be really trying to put in the perfect lap times, a 2:03.3 last time by.
And of course, by disruptions was he wanted to catch himself a Pikachu, but he's not found one. Nick Thiessen on towards pit road this time by, so slowing it down then. It is a difficult pit road. You've seen David Williams, of course, already had the incident, but for Nick Thiessen, on perfectly.
Yeah, he is, and now you can see him dropping himself down to pit lane. It is a long pit lane here at Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas, and now you can see he'll be just looking for his box here on the left-hand side. You can see he's going to take a conventional route. He's not going to run the entirety of the pit lane. Now he moves across to the left-hand side to find his box, try and be as straight as he possibly can. Stops in the box, absolutely perfect, and in alongside is René Osterkamp.
Osterkamp then on towards pit road as well. David Williams out and away. 7.1 seconds, a slightly longer pit stop there for him. He'll come back out on track. Osterkamp is still on the lane. Question's going to be, where will Nick Thiessen feed him? Got Gregory Tanson there alongside him, but Nick Thiessen has the inside line. Nick Thiessen should then get the advantage there over Gregory Tanson, but Tanson thinking, hey, you've got old tyres, sorry, cold tyres, I've got warm tyres, and Tanson driving on the outside of Thiessen into turn number 2 and 3.
Beautiful move by Gregory Tanson. That's an experienced overtake. Used the advantage of having his tyres rubbered in having his tyres there already up to optimal heat temperature, and that is just enough there to say, you know what, tyres may be the same age, but you know what, your tyres have been cold. You've been sitting there in pit lane for God knows how long. So he makes the move. Disson's now got to do it all over again, and now sitting there waiting behind. Rene Osterkamp still there on the train, which means that Jedsat could not close in the gap as much as he would like.
Already has pitted, and he is now classified as your race leader. But did he pit really early, if I remember correctly here?
Yeah, he pitted for damage early on in lap number 2, if I'm correct, because he did have himself a bit of front wing issues right now. I'm just looking at a battle here with Brian Lockwood versus Michael Mittner. I think Mittner's yet to stop right now, which is interesting because he did come in at the same time as Reddy, had a massive damage on the front wing, had to take a while to sort that one out, didn't even get back onto the back of the safety car when it got back going again, Will, so it really shows he's really trying to get back. Here comes Lockwood.
That was a close pass there between Brian Lockwood and Michael Mittner. Battle for P number 9 on track. That was very close between the two of them. 21 of 50 don't score complete this time by behind Nicholas Lando versus David Taranto. That is a battle that is ongoing here in towards 12. Lando can't do anything about it, or can he? Side by side into the next corner. Of course, you can hold yourself side by side here. Chance you can get yourself, nope, not going to happen. Lando stays behind just for the moment.
Yes, he does. It is a shame there. Lando was trying to get himself through. Didn't quite work out there on the outside into turn 13. Doesn't quite happen, but there you can see another little wiggle from Soranzo, and that's just going to mean that Nicola Lando is waiting. You can see a contrast in lines now going through the gap, having to be taken. I think he just cuts a little bit across the curb as well. That's going to be very interesting to see. They remain side by side. Could go around the outside of the penultimate corner. No, not going to happen. Comeback opportunity. What a move. What a move from the driver of Nicholas Landau. Take your hat off and applaud him. That's so innovative.
That was one of the best passes I've seen in this series since we've been showing it to you. We're going to ride it again on board with Nicholas Landau in that GTRS machine. It all started through 17 and 18 here. It all started really because Landau's got a better run out of the corner compared to David Taranto. You can see he takes that inside line, he holds that inside line for a corner, a second corner. But the thing is that inside line means you take such a tighter radii. There you can see into the braking zone, cut over, easy, nice and done. That is a part of the series so far, Jake.
Yes, and now Osterkamp and Thyssen side by side. Osterkamp wasn't there, but Thyssen went over the sausage curb at turn 11, just holds on into turn number 12. So, warning shot fired, Will, here as they just came past their pit stops, as now they're looking to go to the second phase of this race. It hasn't worked out as much there for Nick Thyssen, but a massive wiggle there from Rene Osterkamp trying to get the power down. Certainly not working out for him.
Yep, there you can see Nick Thyssen there, running himself in P number 3. Gregory Tanton just 2.5 tenths of a second ahead of them as they work down in towards 17, 18, 19. Once again, Nick Thyssen, will he be able to get that pass scored complete? The answer is going to be no. Not yet. In towards 20. There's Nick Thyssen. He gets a much better run off the corner now as they head themselves up the hill. Nick Thyssen looking for P number 2 over Gregory Tanton. The two drivers then going to go side by side in towards turn number 1. And the winner of this one, it is going to be the driver of no one yet, because they're going to stay side by side out of 1 on board of Thyssen once again. Will he be able to hold that outside line? No, he won't, Jake. He'll have to stay where he is for the time being. But that was a bold move by Thyssen. Tried to work himself around the outside line into 1, into 2. Didn't work. Now remains in P3. But we see there something called raw pace.
Yeah, we do. We can see Nick Thyssen is just chomping at the bit, looking for a way to get through. Gap now up to about 9 seconds here to Hugo Preto. So the race is starting to fall away from them. Really looking for that opportunity. It isn't working here, but you have to say it is a really great chance here for everyone to really try and work, to try and fight, to try and get that position they need. Down into turn 11 they come again, and a great run again from Gregory Tanton. Just gets that little bit of an initiative here to just get himself a bit more forward, gets a bit more of a top speed as they head themselves down this back straightaway. And here comes Rene Osterkamp again, Will. He seems so strong in the slipstream.
He does. In fact, Osterkamp is going to try and pull himself. No, he won't. Not just yet. For the time being. Kurt Crum, by the way, scrapping it out with still a Mayer ready battlefield position. But really, our cameras need to be the one focused on Osterkamp right now, as he heads himself in towards 14, 15. Into 16 he comes then, as he heads himself now out of 16 into 17 and 18. That very fast double treble apex right-hander. And well, Osterkamp's doing himself a pretty good job here today. Yeah, he started fourth, running in fourth, but he's battling, and he's battling hard. Exit of 19 ahead. Thyssen versus Tansen. We're going to take you RaceSpotTV fan immersion. This is a fantastic battle we've got on our hands right now. Well, we just had a look there, Jake. This race will be completed in time. No caution since the first lap of the motor race. Having a look down there, Evan RT Imre, because he was very fast at the start. It's kind of got a bit sloppier later on in this event, now down in P number 16.
Yeah, he really is starting to struggle a little bit. You look at his lap times here so far, though. To give him some fair credit, his last lap's a 2:03.5, and his last lap he just did was a 2:03.6. We'll see if his next lap is anything to shout home about. I know it's a little bit slower than what was the leaders, but you do have to remember here, he isn't one of the quickest drivers in the field, but he is trying to get everything he can right. 2:04.4, no, it's not the quickest. And David Williams here after that pit stop, after just dealing with that damage he's had. Yes, he is P17, but he's 1.2 seconds faster here, Will.
Yeah, as we ride on board then with Lucas Justice as it stands right now in that number 193 MSP driver's home car, down towards turn number 12. For position, looking for it. And we'll get it, we think. Yeah, he will.
Yeah, he does. We think, we know. And, well, that's a very good move from Lucas Jetsat right there. He'll be really looking to now use that advantage. He's up 14 positions here, Will, from what is his starting position. He started 18th on a 2:03 flat. Look at the lap times he's doing. He's really showing his race pace. Last lap by was a 2:02.7. He's really put in a great stint after an early pit stop.
He does indeed. Lucas Jetsat there doing a fantastic drive right now in that MSP driver's home machine. Up 14 places net overall in this motor race. Well, it seems to be everyone's on this two-stop strategy. No one can make it then onto a one-stopper despite that first caution. There will be a couple of people that are thinking, oh, we'll get another one. Would make it more interesting for them. But on board of Chestex for the moment, but we want to turn our attention over to Nick Pearson actually ahead of him. He's right behind the driver of Gregory Tanton right now. Battle for P number 2 into 1.
Yeah, you can see just how tight it is, and there's a massive slide, and he's going to go around! Gregory Tanson, he drops himself to the back of the train, and we talk about it at turn 1. We've seen Landau make the mistake, Mangan make the mistake. We've now seen Gregory Tanson do it. They're all going off at turn number 1, Will, and Tanson pays the biggest price.
Yep, so Tanson in towards 1. Let's listen in. Back end comes out there over the curb, turns that car around, puts it back into gear, puts it forward, but loses 2 positions in the consequence there, Jake.
Yes, he does, and now he's really got to work to get onto the back of Osterkamp and Jedsak, because that is a free golden ticket, that is, for what is Nick Disson. Actually, we do need to look here at Hugo Prater, because that gap has come down. It's now 5.3 seconds, and just look at his lap times. Yeah, lap 23 does a 2:06.3 there, compared to his 2:03s and 2:02, so he has made a mistake somewhere on circuit, Will.
He has. Hugo Prater's last time by was slow. 1 second slower than Nick Disson. One would potentially ask the question, is Hugo Prater cracking under the pressure, or was there an incident we didn't see up on your screen? 5.7 seconds is the gap right now as Disson runs himself down into 15 and 16.
Yeah, Nick Disson, just the epitome of calm, cool, and collected there down to turn 16. Does miss the apex a little bit, but you know what? He's just staying calm. He just managed to carry enough speed that he would have carried normally had he had hit that apex, so no real harm done there. You can see Jedsak has really broken away from Rene Osterkamp. Nothing he can do there to compare against it. Osterkamp's last lap was a 2:04 flat. I'm just thinking, possibly, is there any damage on that car? Because that is a complete contrast to the lap times he was doing there. 2:04 flat was last time compared to 2:028. Let's just see what lap time he does this time here, Will, because this is so uncharacteristic here from a driver who's doing so well. Answer is, it is a 2:035, so it's still not perfect, but he is starting to get back to levels where he was.
Yeah, he is. Hugo Prater now has got a 6-second advantage over Nick Disson. Lucas Chestack runs in 3rd. Rene Osterkamp in the 4th position right now here in your motor race. And well, behind you got Tanton. He's in P number 5. He's had that spin recently. Mayer Reddy in 6th. Kurt Crum in 7th. And then Brian Lockwood rounding out your top 8. Give you an update on some of the retirees in this event so far. Oscar Mangan, Justin Brunner, Antonio Santonis Jr. and Scott McIntyre all out of this event. One driver scored 1 lap down, and that's the driver of Golduos there. He's not been a good weekend for him. Like AK-46 sim racing car.
No, it really hasn't, and well, it really does epitomise everything that's going on with Gecko Vortex. Of course, they lost Justin Brunner over to Inex, and now starting to struggle a little bit here in the 2K Cup. It is not the way that they wanted it to do, but you know what? There is going to be still some points to score there for what was a 27th position at the moment. Of course, you've got to remember at the start of the season, you could only score in a second split, and when there were second splits, we had 100+ drivers there at the start of the field. As just saw Hugo Prater get a big wiggle out of 12. They're just really trying to push the matter forward, and still, you can see that parity is resuming.
Yeah, Michael Mittner right now running himself in P number 14, just 4 tenths of a second behind the driver of Rico Schumacher there in the Pure Racing Team 811 machine. Mittner last time by was slower.
There's contact between the two. Around goes Zemic. Oh, I just see that Mittner didn't just take a respect there of what is the condition that he has. He's already damaged his front wing very badly, and well, Zemic there, he's lucky that Zemic has gone out ahead. That's very gentleman of Michael Mittner, but you know what? That was just a little bit of carelessness, Will, and that was really unfortunate.
Yeah, let's look at the super slow-mo replay. What's up, Lola? Welcome to RaceSpotTV. Wanting to make a little bit of noise there. You can see the super slow-mo replay into 12. Well, you can see the 811 machine. Yeah, he did look up there, did Schumacher there, but also the driver Michael Mittner right behind him, running into him a little bit as well. So that is what we call a racing incident. Half of one, 6 of the other, as that gap now has come down to about 8 tenths of a second between them after that incident. Still, Rene Osterkamp versus Gregory Tanson, 1.1 seconds, 28 of 50, getting school complete this time by.
Yeah, you can see Rene Osterkamp now just starting to get back into the groove now, just starting to hit the levels that he was hitting earlier on. Still not anywhere near his qualifying lap of a 2:02 flat, but you know, that's at full pace, trying to get all of the car out. But now you can see with fuel, with all these dramas going on, Tanson is really showing that he's got a better pace here, because he is running those 2:02.4s right now. That's another half a second taken out, 1.1 seconds in about 2 or 3 laps here, Will. We could see Gregory Tanson challenging for 4th place once again.
Yeah, Julian Grunstable there is going to lose the position for the time being to the driver of David Williams. Now I started them through turn number 2. Now Grunstable will have to stay behind just for the moment. Of course, it's been a miserable race really for the driver of David Williams. Yeah, he's at 1 place, but overall in this event, Jay, would have expected so much more. Down 4 places, off, wide, turn around. We'd stop talking about any driver for the rest of this event.
Yeah, it seems that any drive we come to, there's a little bit of an incident then. And well, it seems that the RaceSpot Hoodoo has just come back to bite a couple of drivers, and actually massive twitch from Grunestell as well. So it seems that no driver is safe in terms of this racing. Here comes David Williams then, potentially looking back to the inside. And well, will he get the move sorted? Answer is going to be yes, he does. But here's the cutback. And well, great resolve there from Julian Grunestell, who will go side by side down towards turn number 12.
Yeah, and you know what the issue was, Jake? It was that sleeping policeman on the exit of turn number 4 there. Turn 5, actually.
Yeah, it is, and these sleeping policemen are incredibly high. They love to launch the cars up into the air. And oh, there's contact down at the hairpin. There's a lack of brakes. They contact twice. And well, if the curse wasn't real before, it certainly is now. They both keep the cars going. But Will, oh my word, Grunestell and Williams, they just have a vendetta for each other.
Yep, let's have a look then on replay down in towards 12. What happens between the two of them? Of course, Williams was behind. He looks at it. You know what? He was trying to do, and Nigel Mansell did it too late there. Just turn around that NX racing car.
Yeah, he did, and that's really weird to see that there. He should have just had a little bit more awareness there. He knew the braking markers were coming up. It was a little bit of a late attempt to try and get himself through, and that is really going to hurt David Williams, who has already had so much trial and tribulation and travesty so far today. You can see its front wing, it's buckled and bent, and that is really not what David Williams wanted. His VRS Coanda weekend has gone from horrible to just goddamn awful.
Yeah, there we are. Oh, that MSP driver's home car, bent rear wing on it as well. And while Grunsport isn't in a window to complete this motor race on one more pit stop, he's going to have to ride out for about 4 or 5 laps at minimum here. 29 of 50 going to be scored complete this time by. What a crazy race we've had, but still out front. Prato, 6 seconds now ahead of Nick Thisson.
Yeah, the gap's just started to hold itself right now. You can see doesn't have to push too hard here, and as actually we can say Gregory Tansen's just got himself through on Rene Osterkamp. I think that was down at what was a turn number 12 move there. So Rene Osterkamp really struggling with the car right now. We'll have to be a little bit careful with the remaining few laps of the race, because Meyer Reddy will be looking to try and get himself through, recovering from what was damage on lap number 1. So he's back into 6th. Great job from him. But yeah, it's just one of those things where the gap's now just starting to hold itself in place. Prato there, 5.8 clear, has to deal with the lap traffic there of John Morgan, Captain Morgan as it were. But you can see right now, Nick Thisson just doing everything he needs to do.
20 laps remaining in this motor race, and it's been a pretty crazy one. We've still got more there with Emery and Mittner and Marseille, all in the same piece of racetrack here, Jake. Heat number 13, 14, 15. This is an interesting one because, of course, we've seen pretty much all these drivers in the wars at some point in this motor race.
Yeah, we have, and well, it's certainly going to be interesting to see Marichala, Imre just having to check up right there. And of course, Imre and Mittner, they battle on a weekly basis, so they will know just exactly where their strengths are, where the weaknesses are. And well, Mittner will be certainly very desperate to get himself a way through. Of course, now we're starting to think pit stop window. Will it start happening now? A little bit wider line taken there by Evan Imre. He missed the apex, and now here comes Michael Mittner in the LM Rennsport number 87. He will look to try and get past 999 Evan Imre. And well, he's going to make this one look like a piece of cake, Will, because he gets it done before they get to turn number 1.
We get frosting in that place.
Yeah, sure, get some frosting, whatever you need. All the trimmings.
Well, there's Imre. There's the gap behind, nothing. But there's the gap ahead. We've got Michael Mittner and Jason Marseille there. Lap number 30 of 50 will be scored complete this time by. Biggest battle inside of your top 10 is the one between Rene Osterkamp and Gregory Sanson right now. Gap between these two drivers, well, it's 0.3 of a second, Jake. And well, looking at their last lap times, actually just, I'm going to look at Tansen. Pretty much identical lap times, pretty much identical as well in terms of fastest lap.
Yeah, you can see Gregory Tanson pretty much on par at the moment here, and will be really looking to try and break away. You can see he gets a lovely little exit there out of the triple right-hander there, so he's really doing a great job, really showing what he can do. Osterkamp now looking to try and get himself back into place, back down in 5th once again, and looking to try and get himself a great opportunity. Not close enough for the moment, but he is really working because that gap has come down from what it was, Will.
It has indeed, as we enter the last 20 laps of this motor race. Having looked at Marshall versus Mittner, that battle will, oh my god, it does carry on dramatically there. Marcel versus Mittner, 13-14, LM Rennsport versus Endless Sim Racing. This is a big, interesting battle, and you want to know why part of that is, Jake? Up 9 places for the Endless Sim Racing car on Marcel, compared to Mittner down 8 places from where he started.
Yeah, and well, actually, it's going to be down 7 because you got to remember he's through on Evan Imre right now, who is still there, who is still waiting, who is still looking to get himself on the back, the Scottish driver, and well, the Austrian Michael Mittner will be really looking to get himself up through the field. He's already through on Marichal, and now he needs to push and just get going because Rico Zemic is down the road. Marichal and Imre, they'll be going up there side by side, potentially in the next few laps, few corners potentially, but Evan Imre doing a good job there despite being down 6 today. He's doing a very good effort here at trying to be the man who needs to just hold his slide.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here are your top 8 then as they stand. 31 of 50 going to score complete. Hugo Preto 6 seconds ahead now of Nick Thies, and Lucas Jestak in 3rd. 4th place is Tantum and Osterkamp ready from and Leiper side by side for just one moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and what you saw on RaceSpotTV side by side, Jake, Marshall even having himself an incident after his 2nd pit stop.
Yeah, it was Gregory Tanson indeed who actually got an incident there. Just came out of his pit box, did very well, and it was down through the exit section, caught that sleeping policeman, all shades of wrong, had to take evasive action there across what was the runoff area, was very lucky to keep the car out of any form of barrier, but he's still going again, but is now advantage Osterkamp here, as he will look to try and extend his advantage before his pit stop.
Nicholas Landau on pit road as well. Well, Jake, this second pit stop is important because it will get them to the end of the motor race. They need to make sure they don't speed, they don't overshoot, they don't do anything adverse.
Yeah, we saw Hugo Preto overshoot in his problems that he's had, but you have to remember here, there are a few drivers who are looking to try and get themselves through. Of course, Nicholas Landau, we've mentioned, he's on pit road. Joel Guez has just come out. He's a lap down at the moment, so none of your big names really have come in so far, apart from Tansen and Jedsat, who's also come into pit lane. So really, this is all about attrition. This is all about who can stay calm under the pressure, because when they come back to green, when they come back into what is effectively back into the shuffle properly, it's all going to be about who's close and who can you battle with towards the flag.
Indeed, on board with Brian Lockwood then for a couple of corners here on fan immersion. So here we can see then Lockwood on towards pit road, Jake. Hard pit road entry, he makes it in.
Yeah, he does. He's really doing a good job right now. And is looking for a really good opportunity here. Of course, he was around the drivers of likes of Philippe Lebert before he came in. And, well, he's really looking for an opportunity now to score some really solid points. Of course, we saw Brian Lockwood do really well in the 2K Skip Barber Cup. And now he's looking at these Formula Renaults and thinking, you know what? I might as well chance my arm here, Will.
Yep, as the gap then, we're looking between Nick Thiessen and Hugo Preto. 8 seconds it is right now as Thiessen gets himself a little bit of a wiggle on the exit of 11, heading himself down into 12. Once again, Hugo Preto has been dominant on this race since the restart.
Yeah, he has, but it's not been a case of plain sailing. Of course, you've got to remember his first pit stop, he did overshoot his pit box. He shot pit entry as well. So he was really, just a little bit too aggressive for possibly my liking and a couple of others as well. But it doesn't excuse the fact that he's pulled out the effort once again. He has shown that his superior pace is there. He is running laps that are cleaner than everyone else. He has the fastest lap of the race, I think, as well, on a 2:01.9. So really, he's showing everyone that he is actually a world-class driver who can be up there with the likes of, say, a Peter Berryman and Oscar Mangan.
Yeah, and of course we expect Nick Thiessen on towards pit road soon. We expect Hugo Preto on towards pit road soon. We're going to be down to 16 laps to go this time by in this motor race. There is Hugo Preto. There is Nick Thiessen. And you'll see now coming into screen, there is Rene Osterkamp running himself in third place. So none of your top three have actually come towards pit road for a second time here. May already has, but he's on that weird strategy, of course, incident very early on in this motor race.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that you have to say that Meyer already has got himself wrong. He's probably going to have to 3-stop this one, which is really going to affect him here in that 500 machine. Is that Force India livery? I'm not quite too sure about it, but Meyer already's really showing exactly what he can do here. He's really doing a good job here for the recovery drive. He was qualified in third, he's now fourth, but that's not retrospective. But you know what? It's a great recovery for him. He's on his own and he's doing time trial laps, and actually he's doing a really good job at putting in some consistent times.
You remember that time that FOM wasn't training Force Indias because they made a complaint against them?
Yeah, I do remember that time, and hopefully we're not the same.
No. So there's Mayo ready for another... Oh, on someone... I'm joking. We're joking, of course. Down in your pack a little bit. Best part we've got going on is all the way at the rear end of your top 20.
Well, actually, we've just seen a car spin wheel. I know it's a little bit irrelevant, but it is Lionel Alberto down at turn number 1, and he has hit hard into what is the barrier, I believe. They're just going in there a little bit too slowly, loses the back end, and, well, in the end, trying to get it going again. Oh, he gets a little bit stuck as well.
Replays up in towards turn number 1. Let's have a listen. He accelerated too early. That's what the issue was, Jake.
Yeah, and Lionel Alberto there, I believe he's running for one of the French teams. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's Real Championship. Lionel Alberto was really struggling there in turn number 1. Of course, he's not the quickest driver in the world, but he is a driver who has a very good heart, very gutsy, very bold, and well, it just seemed to me that all his time was lost, not necessarily by the spin, but by the fact that he had his rear wheels there off of the air, trying to roll it back down on to get some traction, because he was just spinning those wheels up in the grass, and it really wasn't working.
David Williams having pitted versus Julian Grunstadel, who has pitted as well, into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not like an S Club member right now. 8, Jake.
Yeah, now you can see just how everything's going to work out. And now you can see Grunstadel and Williams. The rivalry continues, of course. They have taken 6s and 7s out of each other, so we might not have to speak too much just to get themselves into a position here. Down on the brakes into turn number 11. Wider line taken there by Grunstadel. Gets much better exit there, Will. And that's why David Williams will lose out in the shuffle and not get the move done this time by.
Yeah, Williams got himself a bit of a wiggle there. That was aces and 8s there for Williams as he works himself out of 11. Couldn't get himself the draft. Now still stuck in P18 for the time being. But attention then back to Hugo Preto as he works himself down towards turn number 12 for oneself there. 8.9 second advantage over your race leader. Taranto is on pit road, Jake.
Yeah, David Taranto there on pit road. He was running around in the midfield, so it will be interesting to see where he does come out in the shuffle. And now he is coming out of pit lane, so Evan Imre goes past him, so does Nicola Landau. And now you're going to see who's going to be there, who's going to be close, and that's Jason Marichal, who will come out very near here at the moment. There you can see, gets himself out very nicely, down into turn number 1. Very difficult when you're on what is cold tyres, and there you can see getting out of the way. Is that Captain Morgan again? I believe it is. John Morgan there getting out of the way.
Yep, there we are, as Captain Morgan indeed getting himself out of the way for another driver. Drascat on pit road, doing himself some service there. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, out of pit road Ninja Turtles, onto the racetrack the Turtles. He was in a hurt shell. It's turn 1, and he's in P number 18.
Yeah, he is. He hasn't had the best of days since Rafael Draskas there. He is a while down the road and will be looking to try and recover things. But you know what? He has shown that he can be there. He can fight up when he needs to. We did see it down, what I believe was down at the Oval at Twin Ring Rotegi. He really showed his class. So you can really see here that quite a few drivers here are really starting to show some caliber, some class, and actually show what they're made of.
They are indeed. As we're having a look now at Michael Mittner on board with him versus Brian Lockwood as our coverage continues here. Lap number 37 of 50 going to be scored complete this time by, thanks Cap, hitting that one all over the board. Kurt Crum on towards pit road this time by.
B5 Farm, I see Kurt Crum there on pit road, so this is going to be interesting to see where he pops himself out in the shuffle. And actually, not really too much dramas there for Kurt Crum. Gets himself out of pit road right about now, and where you're going to see coming down down start finish straight, that's Rico Zemic there in the 811 machine. I believe he hasn't come into pit road. I'm going to be wrong with that one. No, I'm correct, he hasn't come down to pit road. So Kurt Crum, really solid performance at the moment.
Indeed, so as we now work ourselves on Kurt Crum's on board, the number 130 machine in P number 8 on track. Battle's going on. Mittner there still battling it out with the driver of Brian Lockwood. Took us through this section then, from the end of the S's down towards turn 12.
Well, it's very interesting through the S's. You've got to hug the curbs as if you don't want to let go of them. And you can see here with Michael Mittner here, gets that wide line into what is the left-hander, which opens up the hill this right-left. Very difficult because you're using the slow mechanical grip and you just want to get on that power, get on that noisy pedal a little bit quickly, but you have to wait, you have to be calm. Through that small kink left, shouldn't really be too much of trouble. Now, the difficult braking zone down into what is the next left-hander of turn 11. You've got to be careful here because there's a million lines to attack it, and only one line will really truly work down there if you are going to defend. And now you can see, having to use the lap traffic is a little bit of a help. There's Lionel Alberto, who was beached at turn 1 just a moment ago, trying to get themselves through, and I think Brian Lockwood here will. I think he's going to be safe for another lap.
Yeah, he'll hold on because of the fact he had the draft that time by. In fact, it's going to hurt Mittner a little bit unless... Now he'll get past easily there, past the lap traffic. So Michael Mittner can continue on his way. Battle for P number 10. P number 11 on track. Of course, for those of you just joining us, we had a
Oh my word! Oh my word, I'm going to look at Felipe Bear here. He has lost the car coming into pit road and has spun it, and a nightmare for Mr. 2K Cup.
Well, let's have a replay then from on board with Felipe Bear on towards pit road. Let's listen in. Oh, so easy to do.
Oh, yeah, I have to agree. It hasn't really worked out for him. Well, he wasn't having the best of races either, and now that race has gone from bad to absolutely diabolical, Will, for Mr. 2K Cup, and we know where his focus should be now. He should focus on Skip Barbers because he's right there leading the championship in that one.
Yeah, he is. He's not got anyone behind him. P8 right now for Felipe Bear. Arguably, he's lost P number 7 to Kurt Crum as a consequence of his actions there as we get ourselves down to 12 laps to go in this motor race. We've got Rico Smith there in pit road in the number 811 Pure Racing Team car. Pit stop time done, out and away, 7.3 seconds. A long pit stop actually for Rico in that 811 machine.
Yeah, Rico Zemic there, probably just overfueled the car there. It's so easy to do that, just not telling your mechanic, oh, I need this much amount of fuel. So they just assume that you need all of the fuel that's possible. So Zemic coming back out onto road, and well, he gets himself in pretty much no man's land right now. He's behind Jason Marichal, who is a while down the road there in what is P number 12 at the moment. So you can really see how everyone's trying to push, everyone really trying to battle there, as I've just seen Joel Guez almost go into the back of Brian Lockwood. Of course, Guez one lap down, looking to try and get back to Michael Mittner, but Mittner doing a good job there in 11th here, Will, for the moment. He's just showing here, actually in P number 10, just what he can do after what was a very poor start.
What we haven't seen is the fact that Hugo Preto's been on pit road for another time. 6.8 seconds, he's out of the way. Last stop done for him as the car's turned around just around him.
Yeah, that's Neil de Guzman. Yeah, that is Neil de Guzman there. He was a lap down. He puts himself onto pit road, which probably means his race is over. Down into the final corner. He just goes around once, and then he tries to get it back again. Clicks the wall there on the inside barrier, and that is not worked out for Neil de Guzman. His race is all but done.
It's not. Let's go right on board with Nick Thiessen for a couple of corners, because Thiessen now leads this motor race for the moment, Jake.
Yes, he does, and now you can see into turn number 10. He comes along, and now turn number 11 here. Very nice on the brakes. Just slows it down very coolly, very calmly. Takes that wide line here, just making sure he's using as little as his tyres as possible. And I think that's a very wise decision there from Nick Thiessen, a very experienced racer as well in number 35. Now getting himself down this back straightaway. No DRS in these cars, in these Formula Renault 2.0s, but if memory serves me correctly with the 3.5 coming soon, I think they do have DRS. I'm not quite sure on that one, but you can see heading himself down in towards turn number 12, down on the brakes into the left-hander. Yep, no real problems there, as you can see, heading towards 13 in that infield section. He really is showing exactly why he is a very, very good driver. But you can see we're going to stay with Nick Thiessen then just for a little bit longer. Then you can see heading himself now into what is 17 and 18 under the Budweiser walking which there you can see that triple right-hander, very similar to what is the circuit at Istanbul there in what is Turkey. And now you can see into turn 19, a very difficult off-camber corner, making sure you get everything right, of course. And now you can see Nick Thiessen, he'll drop himself onto pit lane, and he gets a bit of a twitch going coming in, but it's all going to be about that stop. I don't think he is going to catch the driver of Hugo Prater, but it is going to be difficult to see whether he will come out in and around the likes of Lucas Jessat, Rene Ostkamp, or even Gregory Tansen.
Indeed so, and we're now down to 11 laps in this motor race to go here, and it looks as though that Nick Thiessen, well, he's arguably looking for about P number 2 in this event overall. Pit stop time for him, that's quick, out and away. Pit stop time 5.4 seconds. He comes back out onto track. Prato is already past him, really battling out with Lucas Jestik. Nice, easy, way ahead of him as it stands right now. Nick Thiessen having to P number 2 after this pit stop, but Mayo Reddy is still on track, of course. He had himself an incident earlier on. We do know that he should have to pit again here.
Yes, we do, and well, Maya Reddy is really looking to try and get himself as good as a performance that he can. It isn't working out at the moment. He is leading this race currently, but if he can't bring it onto pit lane, if he can go 10 laps, that is going to be interesting. We think he won't be able to do that, but if he does, well, it is one of the best recoveries we will ever see.
We said that yesterday, of course, it never happened, but, well, Mayo Reddy there in the 500 machine, down through turn number 11 on towards turn number 12. He will head himself once again on pit road. Michael Mittner right now is the driver in that number 87 LM Rennsport machine. Out and away he comes. Gonna be some traffic, we think, around him. Well, there's a driver that's just gone past. That one is the driver of Jason Marcel. No one else around him for the time being. As we've got more people moving and shaking around as they come on and off of pit road. We'll talk about that one in a moment's time or so. But it has really spread out overall in this motor race, though, Jake.
Yes, it has. I've just seen Rico Zemic down at the final corner make a very uncharacteristic mistake there, you have to say. Got himself sideways through the final corner. It has been catching quite a few people out, and Zemic once again gets himself on the wrong end of things. That now drops him behind the 999 of Evan Imre, who is now up into 13th position at the moment. So really showing exactly what he can do, really showing that he is a talent worth watching.
Yeah, let's try and have a listen then on board with that driver of Rico Zemic there in that PRT number 811 machine in towards turn number 20. Let's listen then. Typical turn 20 spin there. I talk about it being like Bathurst. It really is like being like Bathurst there.
Yeah, it is. It is really difficult to see how you can get that one right. It is a very tough corner. It is like the final corner there, which I believe is Murray's, but don't quote me on that one because I don't have the best of memories. But, you know, he's done a very good job there of keeping the car going, and that's very interesting. Maya already has come down onto pit road, has the number 500, and he's come out just behind Gregory Tanson, so we might have a battle here, Will, for what is 5th place come at the end of the race.
Yeah, 10 laps to go of this motor race. On board with Ray Amedi. We saw him coming out of pit road. Gap is about 0.8 of a second here as we get ourselves down to the last portion of this event. And already looking to make himself a move. We've got ourselves Gustaville there. Another spin by him, and that almost caused a bit more mayhem as well. Let's have a look at the replay on board with Gustaville. This is going to be a turn 12 incident, isn't it, Jake?
Oh, it is going to be a turn 12 incident there. He just gets in a little bit too hot, clips the curb, hasn't stopped the car properly, and trying to get it back going again, hasn't managed to get enough power to turn it around, does turn it around. Very lucky there, the car of what is Frederick Johansson in the Team Tortoise outlet to get it out of the way, but it just in the end, Julian Grunestel, he holds on to the moment, but he has had a real shocker of a race as he comes onto pit road.
He really has, and you consider where he's been in this event so far, down 5 places from where he qualified. Let's make that a little bit more as he crosses the start-finish line, down 6 places now on pit road. Make that even more in this event. That's 7, 8's going to come potentially, and well, for Grunestel, not a good day for the MSP driver's home car.
No, not a good day at the office, but he has to just keep that out of his mind and move on to what is the next week that goes on, I believe. It won't be Mid-Ohio, but the race after that, which don't quote me on it, is probably going to be Imola, the next round of the Formula Renault 2K World Cup. But you can see right now here just how these leaders are going there as they go past the start-finish line. Gap at the moment, 4.8 seconds, so it has come down, Will, but it's just not come down enough for Nick Thiston.
It hasn't. The big battle we've got going on, though, is Mayo Reddy versus Gregory Tanson. They can see Mayo Reddy. We're going to ride on board of him then. We'll be back in one moment, but wow, what a race it's been so far.
So hey, this is
I want to get next.
Wow, and this scans all your tracks, and we'll scan everything else around it as well.
Yeah, you can even scan yourself with it.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, don't tell Tony that I asked, but how do you turn it on?
You just hit this button, scan right here.
Cool. And then that's just gonna move around?
Yep. It'll just do a rotation, scan away.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
real cool.
Hey, Kevin, can you come to the office for a minute?
Yeah,
To show you
right there.
something.
Well, here's an interesting one in the last stage of this event. We're not sure we've got enough lap time left, but Nick Thyssen is closing up to the rear of Hugo Prieto in this motor race, Jake.
Yes, he is. He's just set a very quick lap of a 2:02.3. The lap before that, he was electric 2:01.7. There, I believe that's one of the quickest laps of the race that we've had, if not the quickest. But you have to remember, Nick Thyssen is pushing like a man possessed. Gap down to 4.2. He took a massive 0.6 of a second out last time by. We're on lap 43. We'll start lap 44. So it's 7 laps to go when they cross the line. And Hugo Prieto now has to pick up the pace, or he's going to be caught by the number 35 machine.
Catching's one thing, passing is another. But Nick Thyssen is like a man possessed. Hugo Prieto's had it all his own way, though, in the event so far. Of the 42 laps we've had here, 37's been led by Hugo Prieto. He does not want to lose his motor race late on in the day.
No, he certainly doesn't, and well, he's been really desperate to get that win, to elevate himself up onto another level, and he's really trying to get that big money prize. But you have to see what Hugo Prieto can do down to the final corner. Let's just see his lap times, see if this is going to be a continuing worrying trend for the TNT driver. 2:02.5, that's better from Hugo Prieto. Thyssen this time does a 2:02.3, so that's another 2/10. He is improving, but the gap's down to 4 seconds, and at this rate this won't close up. But you have to say, Nick Thyssen's got to go on another planet now and do those 2:01s, but he runs a little bit wide into turn number 1, Will.
Mayo Reddy versus Gregory Tanton, that is a closer one, because Mayo Reddy is closing right now. Last time by a 10th and a half of a second. Looking for more, though, as they come down into one once again. Look how much Reddy closes into that first corner.
Yeah, he really closes in. He really looks for that opportunity just to try and scare the driver ahead of him, of Gregory Tanton. But Tanton is unfazed. He's doing a really good job. You've got to remember early on in the race, he was fighting off Nick Thyssen. He was fighting off Rene Osterkamp. He was fighting off all that came up before him. Oscar Mangan, who made a mistake as well. So you have to say, Tanton is a very good defensive driver. And where you can see there, just a little bit of a twitch as they head into what is turns 8 and 9 on circuit here, Will. Really showing what they can do. Maioretti's just got to wait, though, and make sure he gets that opportunity sorted.
Yeah, and you may well get yourself an opportunity as they head themselves down in through 11. Once again, exit of 11, Mayo Reddy, much better run. This should almost be simple, almost academic for him right now as they head themselves down in towards turn number 12. You don't need to take a defensive line there. It's all going to be academic. Mayo Reddy now down to the inside in towards turn number 12 with Gregory Tanton. Battle for P number 5. Mayo Reddy has got this.
No, he doesn't.
This.
No, he doesn't have enough, but you can see he runs a little bit wide there on exit, Will. Does Gregory Tanton, a little bit of a cheeky track extend, but he holds on for the minute. Maioretti doesn't have enough straight line speed to actually get past the car of what is Gregory Tanton. Great effort there by Tanton. Reddy's going for what is a high downforce setup, and at the moment, this is where it really starts to hurt him, Will.
It does indeed, and that means that again, now, Gregory Tanton with a 9/10 of a second advantage over Maioretti, but we've got ourselves 5 laps to go next time by. And it is worth noting that high downforce setup compared to a medium or low downforce setup, yeah, you can be so fast through sector 1, through sector 3, but sector 2 is where you make your passes here, Jake.
Yes, it is, and well, we've got to look at Nick Thyssen once again here, Will, because that gap has come down again, another 7/10 of a second. We're down to 3.4 with just a few to go. Car off on what is the left-hand side, that's Xavier Sanchez, now 1 lap down. So you have to say, Thyssen's closing this gap, Will. We're going to be in for a grandstand in the final couple of laps if things continue like this. 3.4, 7/10 of a second, massive wiggle. Oh, it's all going on here.
Nick Thyssen, we know he can be good at this racetrack. Let's have a look at the sector times then. Sector number 1 for Nick Thyssen. Oh, he just gets himself a little bit of side lock there on the exit of 11. 49.4 for him. 39.6 for Hugo Prieto. He loses 2 tenths there in sector number 1 alone in this motor race, Jake. And well, that is one thing. Sector number 2, 27.3 there for Hugo Prieto. For Nick Thyssen, 24.9. So there you can see the big difference. Actually, our time and scoring has made a bit of a snafu there, but we'll sort it out next time by. As the TNT racing machine, of course, does lead this motor race, but the gap is now 3.5. That last lap, actually, Thyssen has lost himself a bit of time. May already losing himself a bit of time to Gregory Tanson.
Yeah, Nick Disson there is just pushing a little bit too hard. He knows he's got to push to win the race, but if you go over that 100% and try and hit 105, it's certainly not going to work out for you, and you're more likely to bin the car than win the car, and that is all that has to be said about that. You have to say, Maya already just starting to struggle a little bit now. Maybe it's all just starting to work out in the wrong way. It is going to be really not the best, but you have to say, Maya already, it's a solid effort for him, a solid recovery, and possibly my drive of the day candidate.
2 attempts taken by Nick Thistle last time by. That's not enough as it stands, but we know that Thistle lost about 4 attempts down in turn number 11. Hugo Prato leads this motor race with TNT Racing, the GOT machine there of Nick Thiessen, running himself in the 2nd place. There is Thiessen as he heads himself then through this fantastic sequence of corners. There is Lucas Jestak right now versus Rene Osterkamp. And the gap between these 2 drivers, well, it's about 3 seconds. And then Osterkamp pulled ahead now of Gregory Tanson by some margin. There is Gregory Tanson. Oh, he's side by side, ready there. The 2 make contact.
Oh, and well, what a shame for Maya already. He has to stay behind, didn't quite catch it, but look at that there. You had to say, heading themselves through. Oh, and it wasn't even contact, it was just avoiding action there by Maya already. Did very well to make sure that both of the cars made the corners instead of none of them. Made sure he saved both of their races, but what this has done is open the gap, Will, and I think Maya already, unless he puts in a stellar effort here, I don't think he can catch Gregory Tanson from here.
Well, he's closed down from point 9 already. There you can see Reddy just getting off. Close it down. Wait. Well, for Mayo Reddy, the gap is now 1.1 second, 4.5 laps to go. He's still got plenty of time in terms of this type of race. Nick Thiessen is charging right now. Nick Thiessen going wide, but Nick Thiessen says, you know what? I smell blood. Nick Thiessen wants this race lead. 4 1/3 laps to go.
Yeah, and he ran wide there, completely missed the apex, so he is pushing, but potentially too hard right now. You can see in through the corner of turn 19, turn 20, final corner on circuit, Will. We've got to take a look at what Hugo Prato's lap time is. Again, it's a 2:02.7. It's not perfect here, but you got to look 2:02.2 from Nick Thiessen. Gap down 2.6 through 4 laps to go, so 2.6. He can do it. We know he's got the potential to do it if he can run those 2:02 flats that he has been running. Nick Thiessen can make that pass, can get up to him. It's going to be so close, but Nick Thiessen's got to stay clean.
Last time by, Sector 1, 49.7. Sector 2, 24.7. Sector 3, 48.3 there for Hugo Prato. 49.3 first sector, but it's a 24.7, 48.2 for Nick Thiessen. He's very good in sector number 1. He needs to gain more in sector number 3, especially in this event so far. 3.5 laps to go. Thiessen going a little bit wide. First sector lap times then going to come up for you about now. 49.1 for Nick Thiessen. 49.3 for Hugo Prato. He stemmed the bleeding just a little bit there.
Yeah, you can see though just how everything starts to come into effect. Nick Thiessen is going ham or going home, and Nick Thiessen is really starting to crank that pressure on the Portuguese man, the TNT Racing driver, and now you can see things going on. Tanson's actually been overtaken by Maya already, so that's something that you need to look at. Well, that's happened into turn number 1, and well, that's going to be interesting because now Reddy goes defensive down this back straightaway, so it's all kicking off here with 4 to go. You said it could have been a boring race, it certainly isn't now.
Yep, there's a replay there. Mayo Reddy getting the pass down in turn number 1. The 2 always made contact. That's a bit of a repeat of what we saw in turn number 4. A lap and a bit of go, but they stay on the racetrack. The gap low just 3 tenths of a second between the 2 of them. Nick Thiessen has dropped a second this lap over Hugo Prato. That means that battle is pretty much over.
Yeah, it's trying to see where he has done that one. I think, oh yeah, there you can see, just missed his braking point down into turn number 12, key corner, had to run it wide, made sure he held the car on circuit, but it is not enough now for Nick Thiessen. That gap now back up to 4 seconds. Parity restores itself. Nick Thiessen's going to have to give up on this one. I don't think even his talent can catch the esteemed Hugo Prato.
Yeah, there's a replay then for Nick Thiessen down in towards turn number 12. You can see he just goes very wide into the corner. You can see he's already struggling to get the car to make the apex. Goes completely wide. into 13. Game over then for Nick Thiessen, all things considered. But while Mayo Reddy has now been able to pull out a bit of a gap over Gregory Tanton. Power off around there.
Yeah, that's
John
Captain Morgan. He's been there for a very long while. We're waiting for traffic to get himself around. He just got himself a bit too aggressive on the outside curb. Of course, he had two wheels there on the tarmac, 2 wheels on the AstroTurf, and well, the differences in grip there are paramount. So one part of the car oversteers and over spins their wheels, and John Morgan, he turns himself around. Captain has sunk his ship.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you don't smoke. John Morgan losing it on the exit of turn number 1. Essentially, he's stuck in a place where it's a blind crest there. He doesn't know what he's doing after that. John Morgan, though, classified now down in P number 23 in this motor race. Now, most of the battles are resolved. Evan RT Imre, though, scrapping it out in the latter stages of this event with the driver of David Soranzo last time by, though. Well, Imre lost that position to Soranzo. He wants it back, though, with about 2 laps to go, Jake.
Yes, he does, but that lap time, you can see 1 second the entire difference, 1.2 seconds the difference. Down into turn number 1, takes the wider line in, but they're just trying to make sure he's opening up the corner, but you can see Imre just not good enough at the moment here, trying to bring that gap back down. No, it's not happening at the moment, and through the S section, Soranzo now can stretch his legs and say P13, well, thank you, I'm coming home with that one, baby.
Yep, as the gap is, now to say, about 7 tenths per second between the two of them. Last 2 laps of this motor race to go, because Hugo Prieto through turn number 1. Barely talked about Prieto. Jake, talk us through sector 1.
Sector 1 is very difficult here because it's all about these high-speed corners. In through 2, and now you hit the tight and twisty stuff. Into 3, 4, 5 is next, and now you can see you're really just starting to crank it. You've just got to dance through the corners. 6, the long one. Here as it mirrors Maggots and Beckett's there at Silverstone into what is turn number 7, and now up the hill, almost like a reverse corkscrew, you could possibly argue, into 8 and 9, and then you hit yourself small kink down into turn number 10, and then turn number 11 comes along, and will very, very cool, very calm from Hugo Prieto. He has been so dominant.
Yeah, through turn number 11, and Hugo Prieto has got himself a little bit of loud traffic, but it's not going to really hurt him anywhere in this motor race. Most of the gaps now, most of the battles are sorted out in this motor race. There you can see moves and shakers in this event. Well, Jestak, we've not even talked about him really in this event, but Lucas is up 15 places in this race today, Jay.
Yes, he is. Just seen a car turn around. That's Lionel Alberto down at what's his turn number 12. But Lucas Jestak has done a fantastic job. He's been a silent assassin, you could say, Will, because he's just been making the position here, making the position there, just staying calm, cool, collected. And in the end, he's now got himself up onto a podium, and it's a very well-deserved one at that.
Yep, behind them, you can see Philippe Lebert also now up into your top 10. He's had been in the wars quite a bit here today, but he is up 12 places as we get ourselves down towards the end of this motor race chain.
Yeah, Philippe Lebert hasn't had the best of the racing. Started off in 20th position after a poor qualifying. You can see locks his brakes again down into turn number 12, which is going to possibly leave a flat spot on his tyres, but Philippe Lebert's really struggled today, and I think it's just down to a lack of practice. I think he's now trying to shift his focus here in the 2K Cup. He knows that scoring the points here is a little bit more difficult than it is, say, in other series. So Lebert starting to struggle, starting to shift his focus over to the Skip Barber, and I think it's the right decision, and I think Lebert is doing a very good job despite the lack of practice.
But for Hugo Prieto, white flag lap now through sector number 1 for the final time, and this is the point, Jake, where you think, oh my word, finally, those difficult S's are done.
Yeah, Hugo Prieto has just navigated them calmly, coolly, collectively, and he's really shown what he can do. You can see into what is turn number 9 now. The small kink left for 10, shouldn't really have too much problems. Got to check your instant limit as well. It's not over and done with yet. You might have a 5-second gap, but one small mistake can cost you so much. They can see runs a little bit wide actually down to turn number 11, but that won't affect him too much. He's doing a fantastic job, and this has been a fantastic drive from what is a driver who can now finally taste champagne.
Yep, so Hugo Prieto now down in towards turn number 12 for the final time in this motor race. We'll talk about any outstanding battles. There are no outstanding battles in your field right now. Prieto leads by 5.5 seconds over Thiessen. Thiessen, of course, tried that charge over Hugo Prieto was not able to do so because of the fact he had a very poor turn number 12, about 2.5 laps to go. Lucas Shestak, of course, we talked about him being already a bigger movers. He runs in P number 3, running Osterkamp in 4th, and they are ready, rounding out the top 5. Let's go on board then for Hugo Prieto, 17 and 18. Last couple of corners now for him to go into turn number 19. And now one more corner to go, and so often when we say TNT Racing, we think Felipe Burr, but today it's Hugo Prieto's day. Out of turn number 20, Hugo Prieto, number 77 machine, will win here at Circuit of the Americas. Coming past the start finish line, second place will go to Nick Thyssen as he crosses the stripe. There is Thyssen, and there we can see also was remainder of your top 3. Lucas there. What a day though we've had here, Jake. 2 hours, and well, it was close all the way through.
Close all the way through, indeed. There were a couple of hairy moments, like Hugo Prieto overtaking the safety car. That will be a few misdemeanors that have to be remembered. There have been a few drivers who struggled today, the likes of, say, Felipe Bear, who's going to be coming across the line now, Nicola Landau, another driver who hasn't had everything his own way, started from pole. You've got to talk about Oscar Mangan, Justin Brunner as well, both of them failing with issues of their own. David Williams as well, having his own troubles. And it's still been a great race regardless, and I think the pace has really been shown by Hugo Prieto this afternoon.
Let's take a break. Final race results and interviews after this.
So, hey, this is the new iRacing scanner, right?
Yep, this is our new scanner.
Wow. And this scans all your tracks and will scan everything else around it as well?
Yeah, you can even scan yourself with it.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, don't tell Tony that I asked, but how do you turn it on?
You just hit this button, scan right here.
Cool. And then that's just going to move around?
Yep, it'll just do a rotation, scan away.
Oh, wow, that's cool. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
real cool.
Hey, Kevin, can you come to the office for a minute?
Yeah,
Just show you
right
something.
there.
He's typing. He's typing. He's got it. He's got it. It's a new line of code. I'll get my code. Sorry. There's your race results, and ladies and gentlemen, Hugo Prieto winning by 5.5 seconds over Nick Thyssen. Lucas Shestak in 3rd, running Osterkamp in 4th, Mayo Redding in 5th, Gregory Tanton in 6th, Kurt Crum, Felipe Burr, Nicholas Landau, and Brian Lockwood round out your top 10. We got Felipe Burr here. We're going to talk to him with Jake. Go.
Well, Mr. 2K Cup didn't have the best of evenings here. Started 20th and got to 8th. That's going to be one of your benefits that you can take away from that race. But instant on pit lane, that really didn't help your cause, surely.
Yeah, I think that cost me 1 position. My first laps on this track this week were 2 minutes before qualifying, so I had 0 practice. I didn't really intend to race. I was gonna join you in the commentary booth, but and at the last minute I decided I'll give it a try. It's a long race. If I just can keep it on the track, I can have a good result, and it's not bad.
Yes, of course, and well, of course, you're in a great position for what is the Skip Barber 2K Cup. We're thinking that maybe your focus is more shifted over to there, but of course, in 2 weeks' time, I believe it's Imola we're heading to. Don't quote me on that one, but surely it's a great track there if we are going there.
Yeah, I really haven't. I've only done 1 race in a GT car there, so I don't know what to expect. But as you said, yeah, I'm focusing on the Skip Barber Championship. The Formula Renault is just for fun. And it's the 2nd week in a row that TNT is on top, so that's good. And I'm going to try to make it 3 in a row next week.
Yes, well, great congratulations for your teammate Hugo Preto from all of us in the commentary booth. Thanks for joining us, Philippe Baird. That is Mr. 2K Cup, who finished 8th place today. Will, fantastic racing, but we got another week of fantastic action to go with that as well.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Don't forget, Monday Night Skippies are tomorrow. And then, of course, we've got ourselves a NASCAR Big Anniversary Series. We are going. You want to hear it, don't you? Here we are.
Back home again in Indiana.
Indeed, the NASCAR Peak Anniversary Series, powered by iRacing, are heading themselves to the Brickyard. That'll be on Tuesday night from 9 PM Eastern. Join Evan and the gang for that one. Plenty more racing coming your way, of course, over the next week. You won't see me for 2K World Cup next week because I'm in happy Finland. We've also got ourselves the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series and so much more. So, join us next week for the 2K World Cup Skippy style. And of course, join us for the rest of the action. Wilmington, Jakes Berry, peace out. Talk to you next time.
How I long for my